Hi, I'm Evan. Thanks for visiting the Only Empty Hands channel. This is a space where you can learn to increase your health, wellness, and personal safety, and you can do that by learning yoga, martial arts, as well as fitness training. So there's all kinds of information on this channel that you can use. Subscribe, but also you need to watch the video that explains how to use this channel. There's a link to it below in the description section, and then also at the end of the video, we're going to have that pop up on the screen so you can move to the video. But what we're doing today is something that's really kind of near and dear to my heart. I have suffered with some pretty bad back problems throughout my life, to the point where I've collapsed on a step before walking out of an appointment and things. And so it's been something that's weighed on my mind a lot, and I've tried to work at finding ways to heal myself. So Crystal, who's taught us a lot of great yoga things, is going to give some explanation of how yoga can help somebody who's maybe going through some of those same challenges that I've experienced. So I'm going to kind of get out of her way and let her do that.
Okay, so what I have today is a quick 5-minute series that you can do in the mornings or if you have a break at work to re-strengthen all areas of the core, the front, side, and back, and maybe loosen up some of the back tension. So I'm just going to run through it without any cues really, and then we'll have Evan come out and go through specifically all the cues. So if this is not your first time doing it, just go ahead and follow along with me. So we're going to start in child's pose. So knees are a little bit wider than your hips. Press your hands out in front of you and rest your forehead on the mat. Rock left and right. And then tuck your toes, press up to a nice firm down dog, bending the knees generously. Walking the feet up to the hands. Bending the knees once again, crossing the arms, tucking the chin. Good, strong through the belly, rise all the way up and reach up. Good, bring the hand into heart center. Strengthening and waking up the legs. Sit back with the weight in the heels. And then twist to the right. Just a good 1 or 2 breaths in each pose, especially if you don't have a lot of time. And then if you do have knee problems, just come down halfway here. If your knees feel okay, keep squatting all the way down and sit tall. So we're going to take 5 breaths, extending the legs out and bringing them back in. You can choose different variations on your hands depending on how you feel today. Is that 5? As many as you want. Bring the soles of the feet together. Sit nice and tall. Continue to get longer through the spine, pressing the shoulder blades together. Come forward and down. 1 or 2 breaths there, and then gently press the feet away from you and fold. Make sure you're using your breathing as you rise back up and move through these poses. We're going to hold plank, nice strong quadriceps, arms wrists underneath the shoulders, or you can take this on your elbows. Holding for 5 breaths. If that feels okay in your low back, rotate to one side. And then rotate to the other side. Good. Come back to center, and we'll end how we started, taking the knees nice and wide, sitting back on the heels, and rocking the forehead. If you're still feeling tension in the back, take an extra breath to the right, and then an extra breath to the left. And then go ahead and safely get back up to standing. To go ahead and move through your day, I like to just step 1 foot up and then the other into my low squat. Namaste. Okay, cool. So if you haven't done that before, I'm going to come out and show you a bunch of different modifications. So Evan, if you'll take your gi off so that they can see a little bit better how to position the body and how to modify for back pain. Okay, so we started in child's pose.
Yeah, remind me what that is. That's
So your
down.
knees a little bit wider than your hips, your big toes together,
Okay.
and your hands out in front of you, resting the forehead down on the mat. There are options here. A lot of people, their head does not reach the mat at the same time as their hips. So you can alternate by pressing your forehead in, and then maybe if your forehead lifts up a little bit, practice pressing your hips down into your heels until you gain a little bit more flexibility. With every exhale, walk your fingertips forward. Yeah, opening up the shoulder blades. And this is a nice place to start moving through your breath. So it'll quiet your mind and get you focused for the day as well. Inhale for a good 2 or 3 seconds, and exhale. And then gaze at your thumbs, making sure your hands are right in front of your shoulders. So for Evan, that's a little bit wider, maybe even a little bit wider. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back to down dog. So some great things to do for back pain here is to generously bend the knees. So your knees will be nice and bent, and what's going to happen is your hips will keep getting higher, your gaze is at your belly, so your neck is not stressed, and then you just kind of keep melting through this part of your back. Nice. The same thing that we did in the other video, if you've seen our other videos, by pressing the right heel down and keeping the left knee bent, and then alternating. So hamstring flexibility, hamstring tightness can cause a lot of back pain. So you can really use down dog for anything you want. One other variation I want to show you here is go ahead and drop both your heels to the left. So you're on the side of your feet. Yeah, exactly. And try to maintain that nice flexibility in the spine. Go ahead and come back to center and press in the other way. So this will kind of get back into the side of your low back. And then come back to center. Nice job. Walk the feet up. Bend the knees a lot if you need to, and you might not get all the way up to the hands, but just get the weight in the feet. Cross your arms for ragdoll. Good, and press down with the feet, spiraling the thighs inward and pulling up the low belly. So as you rock here, you want to be nice and strong. Belly button pressing back into the spine and lifting up a little bit. And you can just let this one feel really good. So drop your chin. Yep, once again, releasing that tension in the upper neck. Yeah, that looks really nice. Feel free to hold it on one side or the other because this is really going to be for exactly what you're feeling in the moment. And then release by dropping your hands heavy like a zombie and rolling all the way back up to standing. Good. Reach up and then sit down into chair pose. So strengthening the legs is a really great way to stabilize your core and help with low back pain. Bring your hands into heart center. Good, we want more weight in the heels here, like you're sitting back. Pull the belly in nice and tight so you support that low spine. That's really great. Keep broadening the collarbones. You can bring the thumbs right against your chest, and then it's nice to just drop the elbows and bring them in so you don't have any tension still here in the trap. Good. As we exhale, begin a twist to the right, and you're going to move towards hooking this elbow outside your knee. For a lot of people, that doesn't happen, or that doesn't happen without compromising these knees. You want the knees in the same plane. So pull your left knee back by pulling your left hip back. And if that is difficult to do, then you just grab your thigh with your left hand and your hip with your right hand, and you just encourage the twist there. So that's a nice, gentle way. And you can look down instead of looking up, so we don't create any more tension in the neck. And go ahead and come back to center. It's a great modification. See how the spine works as you twist to the left. So move slow, put the weight in the heels, and right away you'll notice Evan's right knee shoved forward, right, to compensate. So go ahead and keep the knees. You can even press them together and your feet together. And then as you start to twist, pull your right hip back. Yeah, that's nice. Once you get about, Evan's pretty flexible here because I think he's been doing therapy on his back for a long time. But once you get to this position, what you're going to start working is see how his thumbs are right by his shoulder. He's going to eventually get his thumbs closer to his sternum. Yeah, so I'll be like your mirror, and instead of them being up here by your shoulder, they're going to start working here.
Or back pop.
Yeah. No extra charge.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead and release. Come back to center. Stand all the way up. We're going to add one in real quick here. Grab your left wrist, bend over to the right, just enough to feel a stretch. Breathe as you come come back to center, move the other way. Put your hands on your low back like you're putting them in your back pocket, and then press the hips forward. Now this one you just go as far as feels good for you. And release. Step your feet a little bit wider than your mat again. Turn the toes out and come down halfway. Good. This would be the first place you'd stop. If you can get to your elbows, then that's going to be a little bit deeper, and we're working on opening the hips. Good, which can be another instigator for a lot of low back pain. If you can drop all the way down inside your hips, your heels once again could be on or off the mat, and that just depends on your body. But you want to do the same thing. Thumb coming towards your sternum, and both elbows pressing into your thighs there, and your thighs pressing back into your elbows. Good. So if you were thinking, what would I change here to make it just a little bit stronger? You would grow 2 inches taller from the crown of your head, and then your tailbone would sink down closer to the mat. Nice. So Evan's got a nice wide stance here, which is pretty accessible for most people. If this is not enough and you're finding you're gaining flexibility here, what you'll do is you'll walk your feet closer, and you'll even start turning your toes forward, and you'll get into the same low malasana position. Yeah, there. Makes it a little bit harder. Yeah, nice work. Another thing you can add in here is dropping your right hand down and lifting your left arm up. Deep breath, everything you do. And switching sides. If you have knee issues, you probably aren't all the way in this pose with us anyway, so go ahead and get to seated in whatever way is comfortable. If you're down here, we like to practice core control by sitting down and floating the legs up.
Or falling.
Or rocking and rolling. Good, so this sometimes can cause a lot of pain if you have tight psoas. So one modification you can do here is roll all the way down to your back. Nice. And then you go ahead and bring your shins still horizon level, and your hands forward and your shoulder blades off the mat. Good, so bring your hands straight forward so your palms face each other. And this is a nice way to start building a little bit more core strength. You're going to tap your left toes down on the mat and bring it back up. And then your right toes down on the mat and bring it back up. So float your hands off your legs there, Evan. Yeah, and so to make it just a little bit harder, what Evan's going to do, instead of tapping his toe right here by his sit bone, he's going to try to tap his toe way over here, yeah, and then bring it back in. Good, and go ahead and do the other one. Don't change the angle and the bend of your knee. So kind of keep your knee open, and tap way out here left, and way out here right. And then eventually both legs will go at the same time. If it doesn't cause pain in your low back, tap them down and bring them back in. Yeah, and so those are variations on the boat pose where Evan can come up in boat pose, so you're all the way up, and then you're just lowering like you're opening a book and coming right back up. Try and keep the belly pressed down and in, and the chest nice and open. That's really good. So about 5 of these. Go ahead and hug your knees in. We'll face forward again. And we'll roll into plank. So in this one, I wanted to point out.
Come back a little bit.
Yep. So in this one, I wanted to point out in plank that you really want to be engaged in the thighs, and you really want to have a straight line from your shoulders through your hip to your knees or your toes, however you're doing it. Your upper body position is really important. So I like to press the hands away from me and hug the elbows towards each other so your wrists are right in front of your elbows. Good. And then just natural curve in the neck. You never want to be doing anything where you're straining through the neck because that will cause more tension. And then go ahead and release. Come back to all fours, cross at the ankles, bring the soles of the feet together. So when I showed this one, Baddha Konasana, you sort of want to peel the feet open like a book, lengthen through the spine, and then pull the heels as close as you can where you remain right on top of your sit bones. So if you start pulling them closer and it rocks you back, that's a little too far. Nice. And then as Evan folds forward, we're just going to make sure that his spine stays nice and extended right here, about T12. We're not going to let that bend. You're moving forward from this angle. Nice. And his elbows do reach his inner thighs, so you can push into your thighs there. And then once again, notice if you have wrinkles in the back of your neck, and just take an angle that smooths those out. And breathe. Nice work. And then go ahead and rise back up. Push the feet away from you so you make a nice wide diamond. And try to thread your arms underneath your shins. Your forehead's going to hit your heels one day. It doesn't have to be today. So you do want to curl your chin, and you'll get a nice stretch all the way from your sacrum all the way to the crown of your head, through your neck. This is a really nice one to take the heart rate down and lengthen out your breath. And then to release, take one hand out and then the other hand, and back up, hug those knees in, cross at the ankles, and we're gonna come forward. So all fours, or if there's another way for you to get back to standing nicely, you can do that. This is the best way I find when I have low back pain, is one foot, and then the next foot, and you kind of come up through a nice supported position, like when you're lifting a box, and they tell you that really good posture, you're doing a squat, and that's nice and supported through the core. So one final breath. Inhale and exhale. Namaste.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I think that's great. And like I said, I felt at least a couple of pops, so that's good.
Yeah, so be really careful when you move through those, but if you're moving with the breath, that's where I think yoga element comes in to help a lot, then you'll be hyper aware of how far you should go, what modification you can take, and how to relax through that back pain. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for watching. Again, remember, if you want to talk to Crystal, you can reach out to her through her LinkedIn connection that's below. And then you comment, subscribe, write all that good stuff. If there's training that you're interested in, please comment and let us know. And remember to watch the video that explains how to use the channel so you can get the most out of this. So have a great day.